All right. In our last video, we looked at the phi and the chi. In this video, we're going to look at the psi and the omega. The psi and the omega. The psi, as we see here, kind of looks like the martial arts psi knife. And so that's the one way to remember it. But you make kind of an upsilon or a U looking thing. And then you just draw a knife down through the middle of it. And there's your psi or psi knife. I want you to think as you pronounce this psi, psi, psi. Can you hear the English letter P and S? Psa, psa, psa. And that's how you'll pronounce it. Psa, psa, psa. And I want you to notice this is another one of our double consonants. Double consonants, and guess what letter is hidden in there? The Greek letter sigma or the English letter S. So it's actually, this would actually be the Greek equivalent of writing this. Now, remember how scarce paper is in Greece? In ancient days, really not just in Greece. So that kind of makes sense that you would go ahead and just spell that there. But you will see changes in spelling. So if you add an S to a P ending word, you'll actually change the letter to a psi. And that becomes important down the road. And that's, again, pronounced psi. And then if we look up here, here's our last letter. So it's the alpha, and as you can imagine, it's the omega. The alpha, or the alpha, excuse me, and the omega. And the omega looks just like our W. W. Omega. And remember, omega is O-mega. So it's the long O sound, omega. And that's why I like to make a distinction between the omicron and the omega. Omicron and omega. And again, I'm not going to argue with anybody if they want to pronounce the omicron and the omega similarly, but that's just my personal preference and how you'll hear me pronounce it. So if you hear me saying ah, it might be the omicron sound, or it might be the alpha sound. They sound alike, and so that's a weakness in that pronunciation system. But it's also a difference if I say O and O, it's hard to make a distinction there too. So either way, you just have to know how we pronounce it regularly. And we're going to pronounce the omega as an O and the omicron as an ah. So now we've actually finished the alphabet. Here we go. Psi and omega. Psi and omega. And again, you come across the omega, and that's a vowel, and it is your long O sound. So why don't we take a minute and let's just read through our alphabet a few times here. And I'm going to say it. I want you to say it with me so I can go through it quickly. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. Again, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. And again, my recommendation is you get to the point where you can recognize and name them and write them fairly quickly. But again, as we're going through these lessons, don't watch each of these letter videos 20 times. My suggestion is you keep moving, because we're going to continue to vocalize, we're going to continue to identify, even in the next few videos. But what I would suggest is take the time after this video and just do your best and write out the full alphabet, and only refer back to the letters in page 1 of the notes, only as you absolutely need them. And once you've done that, I'll see you on the other side.